necessarily be more about comic book movie news or comic book stuff. We're going to be focusing on Comics Amino, this great app that we have mentioned before in our previous podcast. We have a special guest today, Blackpool, who is actually one of the agents from the app. And basically, we'll be discussing the app, and he will give us an inside look of it. There has been some controversial things going on, and people who are watching this, hopefully you are from Comics Amino, so some things can be cleared up, and we can all figure this out.
Now you're going to introduce Kale?
Well, I just introduced Blackpool. It's up to Kale if he wants to speak up.
Yeah, like I wasn't introduced. I'm just that guy sitting here listening.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What the hell, man?
I'm listening to all my prey.
Sorry. All right, so we have
so professional, guys. So professional.
Okay, we have a set of questions directed to Blackpool. Blackpool, say hi.
Well, I mean, I was expecting a drum roll from you guys in my introduction, but I guess not.
I'm sorry. Look, it's not like a veteran show. Calm down, people.
I know.
So, all right. So here's the deal. We will be asking you questions, and please try to answer it truthfully. And you're not on a court trial or anything, so I'm not asking you to swear to the Bible. However, please give us an actual, I guess, realistic input to it, please.
Honest response.
Yes, an honest response.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for. So, I guess, Film, you can start with the first two questions. Film?
All right.
Okay, I don't know what happened to him. I'll take over. Okay, basically, what is your position on Comics Amino? We've established that you're an agent, but what is your position on it?
All right. Well, as an agent of Amino, we have various responsibilities there. So one of the main responsibilities that we have is being able to control the feature feed. And by control, I'm not saying we put the posts that we want. It's more of like putting any good post out there that is good enough and put it on the feature feed. And also, not only that, but removing posts from the feature feed as well, because we have this system named Jarvie, which I'll get into later on. But sometimes what Jarvie does is it doesn't do a very good job in putting actual good posts on the feature feed. So sometimes what we have to do is, go on the feature feed and check if Jarvie has done its job right. And if it hasn't, we have to remove the post from there.
Yeah, look, sorry to interrupt. I'm not trying to dob any agent in. However, I spoke to an agent before, and he gave me the brutal honest truth. He said that in terms of punishment and all that, the agents are kind of like the judge, jury, and executioner. That's what he said to me. It was a while ago, but it still was mentioned to me. I'm not sure if I still have the chat, but that's what was told to me. What is your response to that?
Judge, jury, executioner. I mean, was like this agent referring to the whole banning people type of thing, or?
Not really. I was kind of questioning the ways that the agents handle things, and also the roles, because obviously there was some conflict, and I was enraged. I was trying to fix some stuff up, but that's the response I got. I kind of understood it, even though it was rather unsettling. I still want to know what's your input on it. That's what I was told.
Well, I mean, I guess it's really how you look at things, really. Because in honesty, agents, what we're supposed to be is be people that help others in the community. We don't want to create this image where we're seen as intimidating people type of thing, we actually do want people to come to us and have us help them. But I mean, with your situation,
I'm not trying to Okay, I've dealt with agents before. You guys aren't that, how would I say it, like, overall we're all human, right? However, I kind of understand why some people of the community would feel, I wouldn't say threatened, but they would feel uneasy with agents around. But that's how it is, like in life, It's not just, agents.
Yeah.
In life, people are always, they feel unsettling towards people who have authority or power.
Exactly.
Like in terms of teachers at school, I know that some of us don't respect our teachers. However, like me, I don't really respect mine, but I have my own reasons for that. Some people are afraid of people with authority. I kind of see how, that's a valid reason, but it's in terms of how they go about it.
So, in your opinion, you're saying that like some of the agents have over-abused their power in a way?
No, okay. People always fear what they don't understand, and people will always be afraid of agents. It's not really you can't really stop that. Okay, I kind of see. I'm trying to justify how the community feels on Amino. At one point I did feel threatened in terms of agents because just knowing that there are these groups of people who can basically make sure you get banned or not. And also, they have these tags under their names. They're part of this big group. It can really feel slightly threatening, so to speak.
Oh, no, I mean, I can see where you're coming from in all honesty, but I think the misconception that people have about agents is that we have so much power, when in reality, it's more of like we're simply volunteers for Team Amino, and we just check in on the community. And it's not like us, like directly as agents. It's not like we can directly ban people. All we do is just pretty much communicate with Team Amino if any problems arise, and then we just let Team Amino deal with the rest of it themselves and let them do what they think is best. So, I mean, like I said, I understand like why people are possibly afraid of the agents because they think they might possibly get banned or some sort of stuff, but it's not. It doesn't work that way. So
Look, I know. But nonetheless, agents or not, you guys are still human, so there could be some flaws. Like that's just overall.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah.
Yeah, look, because it's not a secret that a few agents or ex-agents have been kicked off their position because of some of the things they did. Okay, that I'm pretty sure a few people know that.
Yeah.
So could we maybe address those? Could you kind of tell me why what was the process for them losing the title and all that? Because I want to know how fair the system is and how the agents, how they keep it fair and how they deal with agents creating problems.
Well, I mean, I can't, really go into detail about like those specific people, but I will say this.
Yeah, not specific people, but just like how.
Yeah, I know in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, pretty much, agents, we're supposed to be people that are of great example. So, we're not supposed to do this thing where we get into fights with other users or just create all this drama and just, freak out on them. So, I mean, that's one of the things that leads to being terminated, if that's the word you would use, from being an agent. So, it's simple, you just simply have to be this person that has great leadership skills. You have to be someone trustworthy that, people can come to, and overall, you just have to be a great example in the community. It's simple as that.
Now, can you please tell me, where do you stand in terms of the community?
There's so much to say about this one.
How do you feel, how do you feel about the community? Honest opinion, as the app, tell me how you feel about it.
I mean, all right, to be honest, I thought 2016 it was going to be a really big year for the app. I'm not going to deny it. You know, I thought with all the superhero films that were coming out, I thought more and more users were going to come in, you know, at least, you know.
I see what you mean. Like, I know it, you know, because there's going to be an uprising, you know, with people watching superhero movies, but I don't really think that they would turn to Comics Amino, because the majority of people in Comics Amino, like, they're comic fans, you know, like, the app speaks for itself. They're comic fans, they know what they're talking, well, majority of people know what they're talking about. It's not made for fans, you know, a small community for them to group up together. However, I don't know, like, I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just trying to analyze what you said.
Yeah.
I'm just, how do I say it? Like, I know what you mean by saying it could be a big year, but in terms of how things are going, like, do you really think that's still going to happen?
Well, I mean, that's what I'm trying to get at right here. We're trying, or Team Amino at least, it's trying to advertise the app. But I mean, I think, like, to answer your question, with the way things are going and how things are turning out with the community, I think it could kind of, like, turn them away in a way. Like, if they see all the things that's going on, like if they see all these people complaining about the app, sort of thing, like, I think it will kind of affect the amount of people that are on here. But I mean, to answer your original question about how I feel with the community, I think it's a really good app to meet people overall. It really is. I mean, I'm pretty sure you guys can agree with that. I mean, you all have probably met so many great people on the app. But
yeah, I met these people who I can definitely call them my brothers and sisters or family. Yeah, because I've been on the app. I'm not gonna, you know, call myself a veteran, but I've been on the app for a while now to really get the feel of it and to know what it's about. So I feel on that.
Yeah, and I mean, there are people who do create really amazing posts, you know, and, you know, they do a really good job. But then, now turning to the flaws of the community, I think, obviously, trolls, it's always going to be a problem in every single place. But the thing with Comics Amino is sometimes, like, it gets kind of irritating, to be honest, how people kind of work against the agents instead of working with us, type of thing.
Well, like, okay, how do I say this? There's two ways of looking at it. I mean, right, so I see your point, because you guys are here to help. You guys are, you know, like, I wouldn't say, you guys are like the creators of the app, right? You're there to serve and protect.
Yeah, I wouldn't say the creators, but yeah.
Yeah, but, you know, like, some people like to deal with things their own way. Like, I'm not going to mention the user, but for some time, I had a closer relationship to this other user. The way he did things, he would coerce other users, and his main goal was to, I guess, get rid of users who he deemed that was unworthy to be on the app. Some of you guys might know who I'm talking about. If you do, please do not mention his name. It's old stuff. We don't need to, you know, bring it up. But I guess, Kale knows what I'm talking about, because that person did those things to him. I mean, it works and it doesn't work. And I'm definitely not encouraging people to pretend to be Batman or Comics Amino and decide to, you know, hurt other people and try to push them off the app. However, I guess it all depends on how you view things, because some of the people that we came across were creeps, right? Like these, let's not forget that this is like a social media app basically, and there are always going to be some rotten eggs. I have met a few creeps in my time, and one of them, I'm not going to mention his name, but he's still on the app. I guess he's a moderate user. He's not like a super famous user, but he's got enough reputation, and he has made several accounts. I still have track of it. I still know who he is, right? I'm not but I'm kind of done because it's only my matter, and yet I can't really report the agents because I don't have proof. So, but I do know that I wouldn't say bullying is a big issue in terms of the community because that stuff kind of sorts itself out, but it's more like creeps, predators and all that. That's a little bit, it's starting to, the numbers of predators are starting to lower. However, there is still a pretty solid number. That's what I know.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's always going to be, I guess, trolls and creeps in every community that there is out there. But I mean, I guess in a way you just gotta find a way, to communicate with the agents so we can deal with that matter. So, I mean, I know you, Protots, you've had to deal with many situations, and we've had to come in, and I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
But I mean, to be honest, it's not like we're gonna kick people out of the app right away. If it's something really bad, where you're threatening someone to kidnap them or some sort of that matter. I mean, of course we're gonna something to the extreme. We're gonna kick them out. But what Team Amino, what we do is, or the agents at least, is we like giving people chances. It's not, like I said, we're not gonna kick them out in their first offense or after their first warning. We want them to still be involved in the community and, hopefully improve as a user and as a person overall, and just have them do their own stuff in the community. But if they keep on doing the same thing over and over again, where people keep on complaining about them and all it seems like they're doing is just creating all these problems, obviously it's going to lead to further action, and it's going to lead to them just being kicked out of the community. And I mean, there's been situations where, people have been banned, and I'm sure you guys know about that. But
look, I know one user, sorry for interrupting. Yeah. I know one user who did get, kicked off. I'm not going to mention his name. I'm not going to mention any names, but, apparently the reason why he got kicked off was he was trolling. The guy does make pretty good posts, but the thing is okay, I've seen him troll before. I don't really tell him off for anything. And I don't want to sound like a bad person for not stepping in and telling him to stop, but I don't really want to start conflict with this person, cause it's just minor stuff. And I know you can't really talk about what he did, but I just want to know, all I know was that he got kicked for trolling. I've seen him troll. It's not really a big deal. It's just, when someone says that they want to be this character, he'll say no, or just mess around. I don't think he's actually ever crossed the line. Mm-hmm. So, could you tell me what crossing the line is in terms of trolling, or kind of similar to what that person did?
All right. Well, I mean, yeah, and I know definitely who you're talking about, but I think people, they don't seem to understand that not everything happens on public chats, stuff does happen in the background, and it's not like we're about to tell the entire community what a person did to get them banned. It's not like one of the agents is going to post a blog explaining, this user was banned for this, and this. We can't do that because that's just personal information. But
it's counted as public defamation.
Yeah. Yes, but what leads to a person being banned, what happened with this person, is that they just keep on doing it over and over again, because trolling, it just takes away that, people aren't able to enjoy themselves if trolling is present. So so we did get lots of complaints, and we
I do like to advertise a lot of his posts. I know that for a fact because I've seen. I know he loves to advertise his posts.
Oh, yeah, I mean, that's not a major thing though. That's like, I'm not saying that's like a thing that can get you banned. You know, like I'm telling you, like stuff does happen in the background, and I mean, we have lots of screenshots or proof of it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like us as agents. It's not like we decide who to ban. Like I said, what we do is we simply send it to Team Amino, wherever they are, and they're the ones that decide what to do themselves. So it's not like we tell Team Amino, oh, you know, like, go ban this person. You know, it's not the agent's decision in the end.
Sure. Look, I mean, I'm not trying to insult the agents and all that, but I guess, okay, from my point of view, I think this is how like smaller users or more unexperienced users see the agents. I think they see them as a group of people who have all this power, and basically, you know, like they have there's an agent private chat, and like they'll, you know, they're human, right? Like we all know that, but then they'll like, you know, one agent will talk about this person, and then they kind of watch that person carefully. I can't say that has happened to me, or at least like, look, I had the feeling it did, because I know that the agents do in some way watch over me, because they, like, when I mean watch over me, it's not like they're waiting for me to screw up so they can just boot me off. That's not what I'm trying to say, listeners. But what I am trying to say is, like, they're watching over me, like, it's not a good thing, but it's not a bad thing either. The best thing is, like, not to be watched, is just to, you know, like, live your life on Amino, do your own stuff on Amino, make posts. But the fact that I'm kind of put on a watch list feels really unsettling.
Well, I mean, it's not like we have like specific people on the watch list. It's just like we just look at the community like as a whole, you know, like. So it's like I told you, like we don't put people on this, like if you want to call it a watch list, because we don't, you know, like we just make sure that there's no problems at all in the community. But I mean, obviously, like if you're gonna start creating all these problems all of a sudden, then yeah, I mean we are gonna keep an eye out for you if you start creating like all these problems, because we like overall we just want the best for the community. Simple as that. Like, well,
since we've already started off and we're pretty deep in terms of the flaws and some issues or controversial things, let's continue. I would like to know. Okay, let me think about how to word this properly. I would like to. So we all know how, you know, what the agents. Well, some of us know what the agents do, and how users feel, and you know, some users who do, you know, stupid things. Let's admit, some of the things that they do.
Yeah, they go way too far with that.
Yes. How do you feel like? Okay, because I know that there are some users who are rather vocal, but vocal not exactly in a good way. But that's just my opinion. They have always these like, hashtag stop bullying. Like it's not bullying because they misspelled it as bullying. Okay, they do, and I'm not trying to insult anybody. I'm just pointing that out because there's a difference between hashtag stop bullying and hashtag stop bullying. It shows you the quality in the work. Now, I would like to ask you one thing. How do the agents respond to the fact that there are at least numbers, there's a rather large amount of users who do the, you know, hashtag stop bullying, or, you know, they address bullying as like a big thing on Amino, or, you know, or they mention their personal lives, like, oh, I always get bullied in real life. You know, I don't need this crap on here. Like, how do the agents feel about that, especially when they incorporate their personal life and their personal issues onto the app and then amplifies to other people?
Well, obviously that has nothing to do with Comics Amino at all. But, I mean, it's not like we can stop people from posting things about their personal life.
Look, true story. Hopefully you got, look, I don't want anybody mentioning any names. Whenever I talk about my stories, I will always say that I won't mention it. because this is, the truth. I came across a post which was basically like this user was saying that they saved their best friend from committing suicide. It's there's ways of looking at it. People can applaud this person, or people can question why they would even post about that. It's comics. I'm not trying. Look, I don't know. I guess we're kind of, driving away from the topic. However, this is one thing that I did want to address and also discuss with you as an agent of how you feel about it. Basically, that person said that they saved their friend from committing suicide. Look, suicide isn't a funny thing. However, I do think making a post about it, trying to get self-praise, is rather not on the wise side. And the cynical me decided to ignorantly comment on it. So I wish I didn't do this, but that was a long time ago. I commented on it, giving my own opinion, saying like,
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it. I remember.
Maybe you're looking for attention and all that. But then words got twisted to the point in which I was supposedly telling her to commit suicide. Like, some of these things can get so convoluted when the person decides to play victim and play cry wolf, and all these people just side with them. You want to know why? Because they bring in the personal life, and it's like stuff like that. I really feel like shouldn't belong in comics, but then again, that's just my opinion.
Well, yeah,
I agree.
All right, you go on. You haven't talked.
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Like what I just brought up, people bring their I know how you said that you can't stop people from posting what they want, but the fact that they bring in personal life stuff, like, oh, I'm going to commit suicide.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really a big fan. I'm going to be straight up. I'm not a big fan of people bring in their personal life, like things that just shouldn't be said out there about themselves. But if the user, feels like they should post about it, then like I said, they're free to do it,
Yeah.
As long as it's like doesn't like do any harm to anyone else, then I mean, like we simply can't do anything about it. But this is what I'll say, like if people really want Comics Amino to succeed, like actually post things that have to do with comics. Like, don't incorporate your personal life into this or post about it. Like, if you want to go talk about it with your group of friends in a chat, then go for it, but don't go around just posting all this stuff just so people know about your personal life. So
yeah, and how do you feel about fanboy wars? Because it's a comic book app.
My God.
Let's be honest. There's no, we can't deny the fact that, there are DC fans and there are Marvel fans, there are Image fans, there are all these fans, very diverse groups. And let's be honest, we all know that
people just fight about it and just get butthurt.
It's not civilized. Let's be honest. This is not a civilized thing, especially movie fans. Like, I've noticed comic fans are a little bit more respectful and reserved.
Yeah.
Towards each other, but it's the movie fans who are the most bloodiest ones, who are very more vocal.
Really personal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cause I said I'm both. I'm a movie fan and a comic fan. I've always noticed it's mainly the movie fans who don't really know what they're talking about. Usually, they usually lose their cool the most. And this is for Marvel fans and DC fans. Like, I've seen, there are literally some accounts based off of, there are literally some accounts based off of the comic book. Let's just say, for example, comic book company fan. That is literally what they are. The whole account is based on that company, and their comments always have to make fun of the rival company. That's what really grinds my gears. Look, I know people have their own opinions. We all know that. We live in a world where opinions exist. However,
I see where you're coming from, but I think what people don't understand is there's a difference between giving out your own opinion and just being plain out rude to people. And I think that's a really big problem in comics Amino especially when it comes to fanboys, because all these fanboys, what they do is like they really don't give out their opinion. They just plain out rude to each other.
Yeah, admittedly, I have gotten in trouble because I was a little bit too vocal over my opinion for DC. I got a little bit, how would I say it? I was a little bit more. I got upset with a comment that someone made because I don't know. Maybe it was just because I had a bad day. Look, nothing excuses my actions. That's for sure.
Yeah.
However, these okay. I do know that agents have, prefer their own companies. That's no joke. It's a personal preference. But would you say that even agents or people of authority could be slightly biased?
Biased about when it comes to the company, or just in general?
Biased about the company. Okay, how do I say this? I got told off for, I guess, saying Marvel sucks.
Well, I mean,
I was rather heavy in terms of what I said. Like I did curse. So I won't look. So I won't lie about that. I did have my own faults, but I know this has happened to other people. But like I accept what's been going on. I accept that. But it's other people and their recounts of what they told me. So could we possibly say that even the agents could be slightly biased in terms of company and like people getting in trouble for their opinions?
Well, I mean, like you said, everyone has their own opinion and their own preference. Personally, I'll admit I like DC more than Marvel. It doesn't mean I hate Marvel. Like, I'm not trying to say that, but I just like DC more.
Yeah,
but
right.
The thing is, like, it's like I already said, like, people, they really don't give out their opinion, They're just plain out rude, and it just provokes other people to respond with, like, all this, like, anger and hatred, Like, if you go out saying, oh, Marvel sucks, and then you just start completely bashing it, like, in a way that's going to provoke people to comment on it, then obviously there's going to be a huge problem in the comment section. So really what we want, like, it's not that agents are biased towards the company that they like. It's more of just like the way that people give out their opinion and preference about the company that they like. Like what we want them to do is to do it in a respectful manner. And that's, in all honesty, that's like really what matters to us. Like, we leave aside like our personal preferences. Like, we don't look at the company that the user is defending. We just look at the fact that if it's creating all this drama where it's leading to fights, it's leading to even people getting personal with each other, calling each other swear words and all this stuff, then we're obviously going to come in and just bring a stop to it. So overall, go ahead.
The thing is, this is my opinion and this is my standpoint on it. When sometimes I say my opinion, like on the Civil War trailer, I said it looks great. I'm happy for you Marvel fans, but it just doesn't suit my style. And people put that to heart, and they said like you're attacking it. Yes.
Yeah.
So then people go on and they say like Ben Affleck sucks as Batman, whatever, blah blah blah, and he was actually great. Do you think that they'll still have that opinion? Like they'll nitpick it to make the movie seem like it's a disaster?
Like they're gonna try to change like your words, like your opinion. Yeah. I mean, obviously you weren't at fault with that one, but people like you guys said, they're major fanboys, and if they see one small that's like legit criticism of their company, they're simply gonna get offended and butthurt about it. And so, I mean, what I recommend to do is just either ignore them completely or just delete their comment, because it's like I said, it's all it's gonna do is just provoke things. So
yeah,
and I understand, like, there are users that simply like they have anger issues, So I guess the best way or the best thing you can do is just ignore them. Even if you actually give out a respectful opinion and then they just start coming at your post, then just ignore them. So, and just be the bigger person in the situation. Just show them like the person that you are and that you're the bigger person.
It's always okay. Like, we're all human beings, so it's always kind of hard. Because there's always internal conflict. Like, for example, someone says that, like you get really riled up, but the reason is because the reason why I feel most users don't let things go and they take it to heart is probably because they feel like, why should this person step over me? Like, what makes this opinion better than mine? Why should they step over me? I've had that in real life. Hell, people say things to me in real life. I always get so riled up about it. I always question the fact, why should I let these people step over me? Why don't I just get up and toss them out the window? I'm joking about it, so calm down. But basically, I guess there's a human element to it which can justify it. But nonetheless, it's still, it's still a big flaw, and it really, really screws things up for a lot of people.
Yeah, and it does ruin things in comics, and just having those type of people that take things to heart, like you say. So
yeah, and have you guys ever taken into question? Because we know there's a comics Amino, but have you guys ever taken into question maybe making any, like, just like a DC Amino or a Marvel Amino, just separate?
Well, I mean that's really not our decision. That's like, I think people have a misconception about the difference between Team Amino and agents. I mean, Team Amino, they're pretty much the creators of the app, and they're the ones that do all the updates and find a way to improve stuff. So, I mean, I guess that would really have to go with Team Amino and not really the agents. But, I mean, that's a really good question, to be honest. Like, I've never really thought about that, but
yeah, look, I mean, I guess, how do I say this? It would definitely split the population, and I would think a couple of civil wars could break out from time to time, because, everybody has their own opinions. Not everyone is going to get along, okay?
yeah.
But still, I guess it is important to ask if Team Amino or you guys have ever taken in a question of making two separate Aminos, one for DC and one for Marvel.
Well, no, I mean, because like I said, we don't deal with that situation, so it's never really been discussed.
Yep.
Or the idea has ever been brought up, but I think what Team Amino, what they want to do is simply just bring fans of comics in general, like, into one community.
Yeah, but we all know that there could be some issues with that, because there'll always be butthurt fans. Now I'm going to let Kale ask you more, how would I say it, more very, like, community-based issues, stuff to do with RPs, chats,
Feature create.
stuff. Yeah, stuff like that. However, it will more coincide with the more personal element of the app, RP, making friends and all that. So, Kale, please take it away. But, yeah.
What do you feel about role-playing? Do you do it?
No, I've never done role play because I simply don't have like that imagination to do it, and I just don't enjoy it in general. But I mean, if
do you
people
want it to be gone off the app?
Role playing?
Yeah.
Kale, hang on. You might. How does this, Kale? I didn't want to interrupt you guys, but you're kind of just like firing away with questions. You might want to slow down, kind of.
It's fine.
Yeah, all right.
Well, I mean, I don't personally, I don't have a problem with role playing. Like, if that's something that people want to do and that's comic related, then they're free to do so. It's not like we're going to take that right away and we're simply going to go around telling people, oh, you can't do role play or role playing. So, I mean, I know there's people in the app that absolutely hate it, and they just don't want to see it in the app at all. But
yeah, sorry to interrupt. Like, this is basically like the other side of the coin. Some people hate it. Some people full on adore it. Like their account is based off role playing.
Yeah.
I really hate to sound like that old veteran at the nursing home that keeps on talking about his Vietnam War stories, but I really do want to address this because I have spent a lot of time on Amino, so I guess I do have to clear to talk about this. I do know some people, and that doesn't mean I'm friends with them. Some people, for RPing, like, it's like a big thing in their life. That's not exactly a healthy thing, honestly. Pretending to be a fictional character, that's never healthy.
Yeah.
And they take it so seriously that I saw this post that was dedicated saying like, oh, we've been RPing since, your mom was wiping your ass. And like, that's the language that they used. They're elitist in terms of RPing. And the funny thing is that RPing is actually so insignificant in terms of Comics Amino because Comics Amino is a place for comic fans, not RPing, RPing is an element to it. However, it's more of like a fan thing because the official thing for Comics Amino is post discussions, stuff like that. And it's really like these people, they make their original characters. They're like, oh, I spent 2 years on this character. And when someone criticizes them, they lose everything, block you, they make a hate post about you. It's really concerning to see that there is a rather large amount of people who do these kind of things on the app.
Yeah, I know there's like a lot of original characters out there, and there's a lot of people that simply enjoy role playing, and it's their life. I mean, if they want to take Comics Amino like in the way that it's for role playing, then they can just go ahead. Like I said, like we can't go around banning people or kicking them off the app simply because we don't want them to roleplay. But like you said, like overall, that's the big problem of the community. Like they don't take things like the right way. Like if that's how you want to say it. Like people get offended about every small thing. Like if someone gives their opinion on a original character, like as like an opinion that's actually like legit, that's not rude, and then the other person, the creator, they get butthurt, then like I think overall they just have to handle criticism and understand, that overall like Comics Amino is simply not about role playing. Because I have seen posts about people complaining, role playing is going down in this app, so, and they automatically say like, this app is going down simply because role playing is going down. So
the main idea of the app isn't even based off role playing.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, it all comes down to personal taste and honesty. Like, if a person is seeing that role playing is going down in Comics Amino, then I mean, that's their choice if they want to leave. Like, we can't do anything about it. So,
Kale, please continue your question. I'm sorry for interrupting.
How do you feel about users that get on the app and they know nothing about comics? And they try to roleplay as characters that they know nothing about, and they ruin it for everybody else.
Well, to be honest, I haven't seen that personally, but
look, I mean,
can you explain though, like how exactly they ruin it?
All right, how do I say this? I've seen it firsthand. There are some. Okay, for example, someone is playing as Batman, right?
Yeah.
The stuff they do, like they make him kill, they make him extremely thirsty for a female partner, and some of the stuff they do is just rather questionable, and the vocabulary, spelling, history of the character, it's atrocious.
Yeah.
But I guess we can't really judge that because that's just someone. I guess, look, that person could get a lot of hate, but that's not really, how would I say it? It's not really a big issue, but it does really piss a lot of people off.
Yeah, I mean, people have the right to kick off their chat whoever they want. So that's why we gave them the freedom to be able to control who gets on their chat and who doesn't. So, I mean, like I said, it's not like we can punish someone simply because they don't know how to roleplay or because they don't know about the character. So that, and like in honesty, that's up to the users themselves. Like if they're seeing someone that doesn't know how to roleplay and like they're ruining the experience for everyone else, then just talk to that person, you know, and tell them like, hey, like people are like finding your way of role playing, you know, like not like something that's fun, you know, it's like something that's ruining it. And I'm not saying that people should go to that person and be completely rude to them and telling them like, oh yeah, like you absolutely suck at role playing, like just go die or something. Like, no, just be respectful about it, you know, like not everyone is going to have the same knowledge. You know, we're all at different levels of knowledge. So I think people overall, they just need to be respectful about it and the way they handle this situation.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, we gave you guys the freedom to handle who gets on your chat and who doesn't. And if they get offended by it, then it's their problem because you're the organizer of the chat. So, yeah, that's in honesty that's all I have to say, because it really just comes down to the users and how they handle it. So as long as you're respectful, like, and you're probably noticing how much I'm emphasizing on respect, because there's so many people on the app that don't even know how to give proper respect. So,
So Kale, anything else you'd like to ask him?
Yeah, how do you respond to people criticizing agents?
I mean, everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Like,
well, okay, sorry to interrupt. You know, there's obviously I obviously have to get a response to that. I know for a fact, like, because I kind of criticize agents sometimes. I mainly see this from people. They criticize agents, and the thing that I guess makes people, okay, look, obviously when they criticize agents, they want a reaction, okay? They want something to hold on.
Yeah, I mean, we've noticed that. Like, we've noticed how people simply want a reaction from us. And to like answer your question, like we've pretty much become immune to the criticism. Like, we don't let it get to us.
I can't, like, but the community, they, you know, users, they get upset, they get pissed off because, you know, like, the agents, they always add like a smiley face and they say feedback appreciated, and then they counter it with technical stuff, like
trying to provoke more stuff.
Look, they see it as provoking. I don't see it as provoking. I see it how the agents are trying to keep cool, their best to keep cool. I mean, it's really hard when you have so much responsibility on you. You are basically, you have to show people that you are, you know, like you have to inspire people. I know that, right?
Yeah.
However, I can see how stressful it can be, and how they are not trying to sound, you know, to come off as rude and all that. But in the end, you know, like, people do break, and people think that the agents are very wooden, like, you know, really wooden. They're like, oh, feedback appreciated, this and that. I kind of see what the community is talking about.
No, I mean, yeah, we've received that complaint a lot, where it seems like we're all this nice and sweet people.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, like, I've seen all the criticism, and like inside of me, I feel like just responding to them in like in an aggressive way. Just like let them like understand things, you know, and that's just human nature. You know, we're all not we're not perfect, you know. The agents, we're humans, like you said, but like I told you at the beginning of the podcast, like, the agents, we're supposed to be examples to everyone else. Like, we can't go around fighting with people and making things worse with them, you know, because if we respond to them in an aggressive way, then it's just going to lead to more things and more drama in the situation. So I understand that people think that we're wooden and show no emotion, but I mean, it's what we have to do to keep things under control. Like, I honestly don't know, like, what people want us to tell them. Like, if people want us to, like, respond back in an aggressive way, then, I mean, we're not going to do that. Because, like I said, we don't want more problems arising in the community. And that's one of the things that people have a hard time understanding. Like, so, I mean, to be honest, I don't know. I really don't know, like, what people, or, like, how people want us to respond to their feedback.
How do you feel about the posts that, like, they criticize you for not going after the people that bully people, and they criticize you for going after people that tell explicit jokes?
Well, like I said, the agents, we're humans. Like, we're not going to catch every single thing that's going on. So, for example, like, if bullying is happening, like, in the background, like, in a private chat, like, there's not going to be a way for us to find out that bullying is happening. Like, that's why we need... What's going on back there?
I legitimately scared the shit out of me. What the hell is that?
Alright.
Vacuum,
No
bitch.
clue.
Alright, anyways, going on with your question,
Blackpool, is that on your side?
Huh?
Is that you?
Was that what?
No, that was Luke, I think.
Yeah,
That was
hey
me.
guys, how you doing?
Jesus fucking Christ. Film, I swear to God, you can't just... We're doing an intricate interview. You come in, and it sounds like a goddamn chainsaw. You can't do that.
Sorry, it's just a vacuum cleaner.
Don't do that. I swear to God, I'm gonna fly to fucking Canada and I'm gonna beat your ass. Now, you're gonna have to edit that out. You just interrupted... Oh my God, whatever,
Right.
just...
Oh, what was that?
No, I thought my mic was muted, so I'm trying to vacuum the car.
Oh, okay. What was the question again?
Just edit this crap.
Alright, I'll edit it out, but I have my own question for you. Alright.
Well, let Kale finish first.
Alright, let's finish. Alright.
Yeah, what was the question? Repeat the question. Because that thing was...
No, I'm pretty much done.
You're done with the question?
Yeah.
Well, that's rather indecisive, Kale.
Alright.
How about this? Film, do you have any questions? Because I still have a few more questions to ask.
Yeah, sorry I was gone for a little bit. For me a long time. But like, do you like the agents like judge things by the title of their like blogs, and like don't judge like reading it in general? Just like reading through it, because like I've done like things where like they just read the title, and
Yeah.
they literally just went full on like ballistic over it and start calling me childish or whatever.
The agents themselves, or like just people?
Just like the agents, people, like everyone. But because like they're only judging by titles, but they're not really judging by the blog. Because I think Eugene knows where I'm getting at. But
Could you kind of explain to me? Because right now I'm slightly...
Yeah, 'cause I mean...
I'm still a little bit phased out from that goddamn noise.
I'm sorry. Was it they hurt your ears or whatever?
It wasn't hurtful to your ears, but it's hurtful to the soul. Like, I'm trying... It is 1:59 a.m. at night. I came back from my second screen of Batman v Superman. I still feel really shaken up. And I just hear that noise. It's really unsettling. Please don't do it ever again.
Alright. So once... I guess the question I'm just trying to say is that, do agents just judge by the title, or they just judge by the blog?
Well, what we do is we do look at the blogs, but if it's like a title that's like offensive in a way, like that, I've seen blogs where the title, like it has like, it really doesn't have like nothing to do with the blog in general. It's like
I've seen some posts where there's like a copious amount of swear words, and also people's blogs have swear words in them as well. So yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, swearing, that's like against the community guidelines. So if we, like for example, if we see someone with a post that has swearing in it, but it's like actually worthy of being on the featured feed. Personally, what I do is I always message that person telling them like, oh, like, your post is really great, and I really want to put it on the featured feed, but if you can just take out the swear words out of the blog, then, that'd be great. So I can put it on there. Cause once again, like, people don't understand that swearing is like against the community guidelines. And if you do read the community guidelines, like, that's something that Team Amino is against. So that's how I personally deal with swear words in a like blog that is actually really good. I just tell them like I said, just remove them, and then you'll be rewarded by being on the featured feed. So,
have you heard about the? I don't know if the agents don't remember this, but like I decided to make a blog, and I want to create my own character, and I made a character called AIDS Man.
oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I did not try to be offensive at all. I just put it as the name, and just say like he takes that name. It's just a character who has like HIV, but it's like characters like Lady Thor or whatever who has cancer. It just doesn't matter for the character. It's just, but people took it the wrong way, and I got major hate for it.
Not just the agents, but like other users.
Yeah, I was trying to make like my own blog series about it and make my own account, but that account got taken down, and my blog did as well because.
Well, I mean, you know, in the society that we live in, it's very PC.
It is.
So I mean, I understand. You just simply have to be very careful with the things you post, because like, we live in a world where people are going to get offended by the smallest things. So, I mean, I remember reading the whole AIDS man, and like, I understand like the concept behind the character, but I mean, if it offends someone, especially because AIDS is like a big like deal in the world, then I guess it's simply gonna get taken down simply because of people finding it offensive. So as much as I said, as much as like I see where like your whole AIDS man character was coming from, but I mean, there's always gonna be people out there that are gonna be offended about it, and we can't do anything about it. So if they're offended, then we're gonna have to take it down eventually, especially with such a big big topic like this. So
the problem I just have with it is that people are getting offended over stuff like that, but there's like people who just make all their blogs it's just about like gender fluid or like things like that.
I didn't hear you clearly.
You cut out.
Oh, sorry. It's like it just bothers me that like some things like they're fine with that, but they're not fine with stuff like that. It's all about like breast or like gender fluid things.
Yeah.
It's just like they're fine, but they're not fine with.
Sorry to interrupt, Film. Gender fluid things. It's a big thing in the community, and it's also a big thing in real life, because in this day and age, people are starting to come out. They are starting to come out, right? And that's not a bad thing. People are becoming who they are. However, the question is how far you want to go with that. I know some people who are. There's a difference between proud of it, okay, and just announcing it. Like, okay, I don't really want to offend vegans, but let's be honest. A lot of my friends are vegans. They have to wave it in your face and all that. I feel like that's slightly how the LGBT community on Comics Amino. I feel like that's kind of what they do, but that's because they're such a minority.
Yeah.
But that's just my own opinion, and I hope that doesn't make some people mad. But yeah, all right. Film, do you have any more questions?
Well, I was gone for a while, so I don't know if you guys already say my questions. So.
Well, we basically covered the main agent stuff. I mean, yeah, stuff like that. We
Alright.
haven't really covered the RPing stuff or like the inside, like deep inside the community stuff.
I don't think RPing really matters because it's just like whenever I go to RP, it's always empty. So I'm just kind of like,
Yeah, it's really not a big thing in the app.
yeah.
So
Well, it's
Okay. Well, may I ask, how do you feel in terms of other groups? Now, I'm going to mention groups because technically we're not defaming any groups, and they are, they are a big group on the app, so I guess it's worth mentioning. How, like, okay, so in terms of groups, there's, Pantheons, which is our own group, Pool Corps, your own group, the Inner Circle, Squad, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Netflix Amino.
No, that one's dead. That's your own group.
Yeah,
And then there's
I know it's dead.
and then there's there's the Amino Outsiders. In terms of groups, how do the agents and you feel about it? Like, do you guys definitely consider some groups professional? Like, how do people get titles, stuff like that? Can you tell me something?
well, I mean, it all goes down to the level of maturity that you show, and just like if you're not involved in any drama or fights or arguments, then it's going to lead to you being rewarded with that. But not only that, I mean, you obviously have to post like really good blogs as a group. Like,
If that's the case, then Pantheons are far away from getting their titles.
well, I mean, you guys do have good blogs,
Thank
so
you.
I'll give you that one. But I mean, I'll give you like my group, the Pool Corps. Like, to be honest, like I wasn't expecting it to go anywhere when I first started it. Like, when I started it, to be honest, the only reason I did it was to like get more fame in the app. Cause I was very new to the app when I started Pool Corps. And so, I wasn't really like expecting it to be like as big as like the Inner Circle. But I mean, slowly along the process, I mean, I guess the fact that we would work hard as a group and post blogs together, and we didn't get involved into any arguments or fights, and we just handled things in a mature way, if like that's how you want to word it, because that's like how the agents told us, like the reason why we got our titles. Like, that's the big thing. Like, well, people think that groups, like, as long as you post good blogs, you're gonna get rewarded with a title. But what really matters too is the way that the group is with other people. So that's really important. Like, the groups, like, they have to be a really good example to everyone else, not like creating all these fights with other users. So it's pretty simple. Like, and I mean, I'm saying that because I mean, obviously the Pool Corps, they got their titles, but I guess people don't understand how easy it is to actually get your titles, like as a group. Like, what you simply have to do is keep on posting things as a group about a certain topic or whatever. And they have to be good, of course, the blogs. And just keep on doing it. And then eventually, like, if we see, like, after a few months that your group is actually serious, then we'll give you the group titles. So it's pretty simple.
What exactly would you guys determine as I would say, like a professional group? Like, in my terms of professional, I would say that like groups like the Inner Circle, Equality, Titans.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound cocky, but Pantheons, I feel like our group would probably lean more to the professional side. And also, let me think. I'm not too sure about other groups. Okay, how do I say this? Look, I'm not here to judge groups, okay? Because groups have their own purpose. They have good, they have their own special traits. That's it. But how do you guys view, like groups? Like what would classify as professional? What would classify as just, like a group that's made for friends? And which groups would you put it in those categories? Like, try to be vague about it so people don't get really upset. But be honest. You don't have to mention names.
No, yeah. Well, I guess really it like you said, all groups they have their different purposes. In all honesty, like some groups they're simply made for fun. Other groups they're made to post blogs together. But I think what makes a professional group is like I said already, like they post good blogs, like and blogs that are actually like really interesting to read and put on the featured feed. And I know of many groups that do post really good blogs, but the only problem that comes with them is the fact that they create problems with other users, or one of their group members like does something that affects the whole group as a whole, and it just gives them this bad image. So, I mean, I even said it in this blog I made explaining people how to create a successful or professional group. Like, you have to be careful about the people that you choose to have in your group, because one simple person can ruin the image of your group in general. So overall, like I said, it's simple. What determines a professional group? It's just a group that has good blogs, doesn't create fights with others, and that's pretty much it. And is consistent as well. So there's really no like further explanation about it.
Okay,
So,
how would you classify Pantheons?
Pantheons.
Yes.
Well, like I told you, personally, I think Pantheons, you guys are a great group. Like I've seen how you guys are always like the first ones to post news about DC, and it's really cool, to be honest, seeing that. And
Mainly we are a
oh yeah, DC, yeah.
Yeah, we're more like a DC exclusive group. I guess that's one of the main special traits about us, since we're mainly focused on DC. And, usually like our news, well, my news, because I usually do the news stories. Although, okay, I'll admit, some of my posts in terms of news, like, it's not too detailed. It's just like, oh yeah, here's a new image. But it's a little bit hard to, like, go on, okay, how do I say this? When you are trying to upload the image first, it's, by the time you do a long description, someone else would have just, thrown the photo up. So that's
Oh
the
yeah,
thing.
yeah. No, yeah, I mean,
Competing with time.
yeah, I've seen like people like try to be the first ones to post news. Like whenever a trailer drops,
Mm-hmm.
I see people just trying to be the first ones. But I mean, I guess in all honesty, like you said, it's gonna be hard, to write like, for example, a reaction to a trailer and try to be like the first one to post it. Because by the time you're done writing, there's gonna be like 10 people that have posted the trailer already. So, and I've seen complaints about that, about how trailers are put on the featured feed and users really don't go in depth into it. So, I mean, what was that?
Basically that's why I added the tag. I'm not trying to sound like full of myself, but that's why I
Yeah.
added first on Amino, the tag hashtag first on Amino, because I guess it kind of sets the divide. Like, okay, this came first, people can post it as well, but it's just establishing, just so people can't say you're copying and all that.
No, well, yeah, but I mean, it's like, in honesty, it's not really about who's the one that puts the trailer first up in Comics Amino. It's more of like, all right, we're gonna see like which one is like the more descriptive one. Like, for example, if someone just puts a trailer up and they just say, "Oh, new, let's say Suicide Squad trailer," and that's it, like that's really not, worthy of being put on the featured feed. But like, for example, with you, whenever you post like breaking news about DC and you're like the first one, like you do put like at least like a description, that even though like it's short, it's still like descriptive. So
Yeah. because, like, for example, recently I did a Wonder Woman photo because they released a new Wonder Woman photo.
Yeah.
I mean, because this is a pretty big deal. I mean, because all the controversy with Batman v Superman, people are saying, oh, like the DC Extended Universe is not going to continue with it because apparently it's really bad, which is false. Okay, all of that is BS. It's actually really good. But basically, like, WB, they decided to release that photo to prove that they're still going on with their projects. And also, this is the first Wonder Woman movie, and we're seeing for the first time, Wonder Woman on the big screen, well, like, in her own solo movie with Hippolyta and all these other characters. So, like, if I honestly, I could have went in so much detail talking about the actors, their abilities. Because I know the actors, there's Robin Wright from, like, Forrest Gump and House of Cards. And, there's all these actresses, and I could have honestly put so much stuff into them. But by the time I did that, someone else would have posted and got, the first bite, the official scoop. So that's why, you're competing against time in terms of doing news.
Yeah. Well, in that situation, what you can do is pretty much like just post the new image or video or trailer, and at least put like a good description about it. And then, once you see that it's like on the featured feed, then you can go on and add more stuff, like edit the post and put like your thought into it.
Yeah,
So,
I have been thinking of doing that because
yeah.
I've been told off, like, just recently that, I just do crappy news posts. And I can't blame the person for going out at me like that because I'm, top featured for an image and some words. So I do sympathize. Well, I wouldn't sympathize, but I do understand where the person is coming from because they do have a valid argument to some point.
No, yeah, I mean, I see where they're coming from, but I mean, like you said, it's all about like trying to, I guess, compete with each other to be the first one. But it's not like we're about to wait and see, like, wait for a person to actually have like a like really long post. Like, if it's something that's breaking news, we want to get it out there on the featured feed, and we want people to see, see it. So that's like, for you personally, that's what I recommend you to do. Like, if people are bashing you about it, then it's fine. Like, just edit it, like, once you see that it's on the featured feed.
Sure. I would also like to know one thing, and look, this goes back to your personal opinion, and I'm not sure if you are comfortable with it, but okay. How do you feel? Okay, because we can't really ignore the other big groups, since we talked about Pantheon so much. I guess it's only fair, and we can't, talking about ourselves wouldn't work, like talking about the Inner Circle or Pool Corps. That wouldn't exactly work for this discussion, but I would like to know, what is your position on the other groups such as Squad and like Amino Outsiders? First of all, I guess we should maybe start with Squad. And we don't really have Pantheons kind of grew from Squad, so to speak, because I kind of left the group and started my own.
No, yeah.
So I guess it's kind of from that. Now let's move on to this is probably will be our final question, and we'll also talk about news. How have you seen Batman v Superman?
Yeah, I saw it last night, so that's why I'm still kind of tired right now.
Well, what are your thoughts?
Overall, I really liked it. I honestly did. Yeah, yes. I mean, I think the first 5 minutes, they were intense. Like, I was like hooked.
Oh, I cried during the first 5 minutes. I cried.
I know. It was like just the way that Snyder like puts the image out there. It's just brilliant. But after that, like, I feel things just went downhill. Like,
what would you rate it out of 10?
I would rate it 8 out of 10, simply because the whole storytelling of the movie, it was just out of place. And I feel like the last 45 minutes of it just saved the film in general.
Well, the transitions of the film kind of sucked. Like, it was really bad. But
yeah, it was really bad.
The thing is that it's a 3-hour movie and it got 30 minutes taken out of it, so I guess that justifies it. Look. Yeah. I've seen. Mhm. I've seen a few agents who have been rather vocal about it. Um, they haven't exactly look. I know that they don't like the movie. However, I'm kind of questioning how to go about it because I have seen that they are kind of bashing the movie without really when they haven't seen it yet. So that makes me conflicted. Uh, I don't know how to respond to it, but yeah, I'm just pointing this out just in case.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own opinion, so.
Look, I mean, yeah. Basically, for all you listeners out there, I hopefully we covered all the questions that you've been looking for. He explained, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanna add one more thing. That's that's about the featured feed. Like, I know that's like what, like the number one complaint that people have. It's the featured feed and how like so many crappy posts are on it and like it seems like the same users are on it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just want to go briefly into that. Like, the reason some people see crappy posts on the feature feed is because of this computer system that we have named Jarvie. And I'm sure many people have heard of it, but just to explain briefly about Jarvie. Like, Jarvie, the purpose of Jarvie, what it is to put any post that the agents haven't featured yet because we've missed or like we like, like we're humans, we're not going to like find every single good post out there. So Jarvie, what it does is it puts the posts that we haven't featured yet and put it on the featured feed.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with Jarvie though is it has many flaws with it. So I'll explain briefly like how it works. So Jarvie, it automatically like updates the featured feed every 2 hours. So for example, like for those people that live in the United States, like they live like on the East Coast, you're gonna notice how like at 2:05, 4:05, 6:05, 8:05, and so on and so forth, like new posts are gonna be like put on the featured feed, and many of them are gonna be absolute crap. And the reason that it's that way, it's because Jarvie, it puts any post that has 8 likes on it. So as long as it has 8 likes, Jarvie's gonna put it on the featured feed. And so that's the reason people sometimes see crappy posts on it. Because, I mean, Jarvie, it's like a flawed system that we have that even though it's very helpful, it can be our biggest enemy. And sometimes it takes the agents a while to, like, get on Comics Amino and, like, remove those posts. So I just want to make that clear to people that all those crappy posts that you see on the feature feed, it's not because of us. It's because of the system that we have named Jarvie. And
I,
then, yeah.
I see like sometimes where like there's like blogs that are on there, but then randomly it just disappears on the feed. Like you can scroll down, it just completely just gone. I had a couple of my blogs that happened to me from like it just absolutely just disappeared, gone, and it's kind of weird how it. Is it like it's like a person behind Jarvie? Is there like another person can do the same thing, but it's like a real person?
No, I mean Jarvie. It's like I said, it's just a computer system, and that's it. What it does is just take posts with 8 likes or more and just put it on the feature feed. So,
Oh, okay.
and then going on with the whole why it seems like people are on the feature, like the same people are on the feature feed. Like there's amazing bloggers out there. Like for example, I'm a give a shout out to one of them. It's like Skywalker or
Mm-hmm.
whatever his username is. Like he has amazing blogs.
Yeah,
And
look, I mean, his opinions are different to mine. Like just then, I just got
yeah.
told off to grow up by another agent. Just then, like right now.
Dear
Yeah,
God.
I just got. Yeah, dear God, I just got told. I just got told off, and I was told to grow up. So, look, I don't know. I just sent a simple feedback appreciated. I don't want to start anything, but
Well, yeah. Well, like as I was saying about the feature feed, like I just want to make it clear out there, like if a user has constantly has really good blogs, we can't like take that right away of like not featuring them on the feature feed. Like that's just something that's not going to be fair, like they work hard for their blogs. So all I'm going to say is if people like want to see less like of the same people being on the featured feed, then they're going to have to like step it up and actually post good blogs that are informative and like actually have good content on it. So
Yeah, and also don't focus on like news story blogs, because news story blogs are, to me, I call news story blogs kind of like selling out a little bit. If that literally is all you do, is just report news.
Yeah. So I just wanted to make it clear out there, like about the featured read, because I know that's like the number one complaint that people have.
It's just kind of bizarre.
Yeah.
If that's literally all they do. And people who don't do like blogs where it's literally not comics related.
Yeah, it's not gonna make it on the featured feed. So.
No, I've seen it a couple times where it featured on the featured.
Well, yeah, but like I'm saying, it's because of like the whole Jarvie system.
Yeah, like
happens. So.
Like pretty much like 10% comics Amino now is like Steven Universe related.
Yeah, so. I don't know if you guys have any other questions or.
Yeah, look, I think we're basically about to wrap it up.
Yeah.
As any final thoughts?
Any final thoughts, guys? Kale?
Kale disappeared. He's probably.
No, he's here.
I mean, I just want like people to understand, like, don't be afraid of the agents or anything. Like, I know,
Well,
like you said, like people are afraid of authority and such.
I just got told to grow up. I don't know how I'm afraid that if I respond to that with my own way, I'm afraid I might get in trouble. So I don't know how to go about it.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on, but just, I mean, agents, like, we're all different, but that's all I'm asking for. If you guys really want the community to grow, like, don't work against us, like, work with us, because we do want the best for the community as well. So, and I'm not saying don't give like criticism or feedback of the agents, because it's helpful, but yeah, that's all I have to say.
Fair enough. Now, okay, so I guess we basically wrapped it up. I hope you listeners enjoyed this offbeat episode in terms of just talking about Comics Amino on its own.
Sorry, I disappeared.
Yeah, now look, I mean, we did talk about some more controversial topics here, so we didn't, like I said, please don't mention people's names. We really hope that this video or podcast cleared up at least some of your concerns with Comics Amino without having to make a big, long blog about it and having you guys to read it. So we just hope that this clears up some of it.
Also, later this week, I'm playing this. If you guys ain't ready for it, I don't know if Blackpool's coming back for it, but like I'm planning on doing like a spoiler cast for Batman v Superman.
Yeah, look, we'll do our other stuff later. Right now, we just have to kind of focus on outro. Basically, yeah. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, subscribe, share, and leave your thoughts down below. I mean, if you don't have anything nice to say, you know what? Still go for it, because you're entitled to what you want to say. But just please be wary that there are a mixed audience, and you might not want younger people seeing it. Basically, we really hope you enjoyed this episode. We hope it clears up some stuff for you, and
yeah, and if it doesn't, people can just message me on Comics Amino. So
yeah, message Blackpool Comics Amino. He's a great agent. If you guys have anything, contact him. Oh, you might
not only me, but any of the other agents. So
yeah, all right, but yeah. So this is Eugene from Pantheons signing out. We really hope you enjoyed this episode. Film, Blackpool, you guys have got anything to add?
Please check out my new video. Happy Easter. There you go.
Why am I never included?
You died! Dude, stop smoking that black tar marijuana, dude, and get back to your life, man.
I'm sorry.
Guys. Alright, so, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys later.
Peace!